Hello, everyone. I'm Barb Desautels with CIR Realty, and today I'm going live with a guest. We're going to be talking about the Milton, Ontario market as well as the Calgary market and the differences between the two. So my guest today is going to be Shaleni Henriquez, and she is out of Milton, Ontario. We're going to talk about how the market is there as well as what's happening here in the Calgary real estate market. It's been very active in Calgary's market as well as the Milton market. They're, of course, way busier than we are here in Calgary. But yeah, welcome Shaleni Henriquez, and she is out of Milton, Ontario.
Hi, Barb. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. It's a rainy day here today, but I'm doing really well, thanks. How about yourself?
I am good. It is gorgeous day out in Calgary. Shockingly, no rain, no smoke from the fire. We've had lots of forest fires, so it's been really nice. Today's an awesome day.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I saw that on the. I've been watching that on the news. So yeah, that we have. I think there was some northern forest fires here too, because there were days where the sun looked almost red. So I guess you must be seeing something similar there too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. We've had so much smoke, so it's nice and clear. The sky, you can actually see the mountains, right? So Calgary is so close to the mountains, so it's awesome.
It's very nice. I've been only to Banff. I went to for I'm with the Remax brokerage, and they had a conference out there pre-COVID, and I got to go to Banff, and it was just it was so beautiful. I want to go back with my family. That was my first time, I think, being in Alberta that I can remember. Oh no, wait, I was in Kananaskis maybe in 2008 or something like that. But it's very, very beautiful. You have a beautiful province. I don't know what happened to Barb. You might have lost her. There you are.
Sorry about that, everyone. I am at my sister's house because my internet was not working. So yeah. So you're in Banff.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, where's Barb? I was in Banff, and I've been to Kananaskis, I was saying too. I forgot that I had gone there. Must have been in the early 2000s.
Yes. So we are, let's get started. So introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and tell us a little bit about the Milton market.
Okay. Well, my name is Shaleni Henriquez. I'm a Milton resident. I've been living in Milton for almost 18 years. We moved here from Toronto back it was 2003. I have 2 daughters, had both my daughters here, and my husband's a fantastic contractor here in Milton as well. And he does a lot to help out with my business. So yeah, we absolutely love living in Milton. Like I said, we've raised both of our daughters here, and I just love helping people move into our community. It has so much to offer. We are a suburb, but we're considered GTA, so Greater Toronto Area. So most people are familiar with Toronto. So we are west of Toronto, just past Mississauga. So to get into Toronto, on a good traffic day, you're probably about 30 minutes, 30 minutes. If it's not a good traffic day, well, you know how that goes, right? We have GO Train here, though, so we are a bit of a commuter town. I would say a lot of people, come and live in Milton, don't necessarily work in Milton, but we have great access for folks if maybe, if there's a couple and one of them works sort of west, Guelph, Kitchener way, and somebody works in Toronto, Milton's a great middle spot for folks that need to, go across the GTA.
Okay. And so how long does it take from Milton to get into right downtown Toronto on the GO Train?
On the GO train, it's an hour. So it's there's a train that you can get on, and there makes some stops. So like, we have a different train system than, for example, the one that runs out of Oakville. So like in Oakville, they have all day service. That is something that like Milton has wanted for a really long time, and hopefully will come to fruition. But as it is now, there's some trains in the morning and there's trains in the evenings, Monday to Friday, and you can go all the way down to Union Station from here. There's also like a bus system. You could take a bus too if you needed to.
Okay. But it still takes you a good hour on the GO train. So to get right down into the Union Station.
Yeah, we're right downtown. Yeah, Union Station. It's like I think it's like 57 minutes or something like that. Like the train, the way it goes, but it makes stops along the way. It's not like an express train. I think if you go down to Oakville, you can grab an express train, which back in the day when I did commute, like I've been in real estate. It'll be 9 years coming up. But before that, I used to work right in downtown Toronto for a little bit, and I would commute on the train. So sometimes you would drive into like Bronte Station. It's not that far from here, and take an express train in. But from here, yeah, you're about an hour.
Okay. So about an hour. Excellent. And so you've been in real estate, you said, for 9 years now, and in the Milton area, right?
Yes, I've only worked in the Milton area. So I have a really heavy focus in Milton. Like I have a YouTube channel like Barb, so mine has been Check It Out Milton. So I love covering things in our community here. Like Milton's really nice because we are, relatively close to get into Toronto if you need to. But we also have a lot of really great nature things like right outside your door here. So we're really close to Kelso Beach and a lot of conservation areas, like a lot of farms. So there's like fruit, like, strawberry picking or apple picking, like all of those things are quite close. We have gorgeous views of the Niagara Escarpment from Milton. And it's, like I would say that it's a lot of like families that are living in Milton. So it's, great. There's like always lots of kids and things like that around here.
Excellent. And you're working for RE/MAX now. Tell us about the Milton market. There's so much going on. I hear, when I read the paper about what's going on in Toronto, I mean, people are overbidding by 100,000. Is the Milton market like that?
It is. So we've had just like in so many markets, across Canada, there's just been, exponential growth, like over, our prices. Like if you look back to 2017, our average price was, look around 750,000. Whereas today we're, we're at like 1,040,000 on that almost average year to date this year on across all home types. So that's a huge amount of growth that we've had. So yeah, like it used to be, it wasn't like that. Like you would put the home on. Our average days on market were a lot longer. Now we're sitting, I think average years to date for right now, we're at around 9 days on market. So you basically put the house up and you will have multiple offers. Like it's very likely, as long as you're priced right and you look good. There are still, some homes that might sit around or not just fetch as quite as high as some other similar models. We have a lot of, we're suburbs, right? So there's a lot of, especially if you go into the newer areas, a lot of like the same model. So, pricing homes, you can do a lot of sort of, apple to apple comparisons because, you may find like there's a certain model, like Mattamy is a huge builder around here. So you can kind of say, oh, that was like a Mattamy home, same model that sold for this. And so you can look at things that way. But yeah, there are definitely bidding wars. I know even in August, which is typically, a slower time in real estate. I think, I don't know for Calgary too, if you find, but I always find like August is just a little bit slower. So inventory is low right now. But like there's still just crazy bidding wars. I know like of 2 townhomes last week, like 3-story townhomes that don't have backyards or basements that sold. Like there was like 19 or 20 offers on each of those. So yeah, the market is still really, really, really hot here in Milton.
And do you see that, like, is there any signs that it's you're slowing down?
Well, it's an election year. So for right now, I mean, I found in the past, when we've gone into an election year that, sometimes there's this like sort of like rush sort of before like that takes place, and then it's a little bit quieter after. So yeah, depending on like who ends up coming in. But yeah, I don't see it changing. I mean, it'll depend. Like, there's obviously some changes that are proposed on the table, right? So we'll see what happens going forward. But I mean, I know with immigration coming back, or like opening up again, I can see there's a lot of people coming from Toronto to Milton, just because even though like our average price is quite high, it's still less than what you would get in Toronto. And it's just like a different, it's a different feeling living out here versus living right downtown in the city. So it depends on what people are looking for.
Yeah, that totally makes sense now. So the average days on market, you said, is 9.
Yeah.
Does that 9 days include, so from the time somebody purchases the house till the time they get their financing, or are people doing financing now, or are they just waiving home inspection, waiving financing? Like, what's happening there?
Yep, that is pretty much how it goes. Like, when you're competing, as you can imagine, if you're competing with 1920 offers, when sellers are looking at those offers, like they are looking, at price, they're looking at closing date, and they're looking at conditions. And, if you are, coming to the table with, 5 days home inspection, 5 days like financing, it's going to be tough for you, right, to compete against that. So yeah, most people are waiving their conditions, and they're going in with firm offers, even to the point where we say, for our clients, when I know we're going to be competing on something, like we will, I'll suggest them getting the deposit check ahead of time. So we will have a deposit here with no conditions, if that's possible for them. And so that's why really going through the process of making sure, we've, gone over things with their mortgage broker, and like just making sure we keep them safe. And because I know the Milton market so well, always making sure we keep appraisals and things like that in our minds as well, right? Or like what could happen if that didn't happen, right? So knock on wood, I haven't had that. I haven't had any of that this year. But yeah, like those are definitely, people are going in firm.
Yeah. And what about appraisals? Like, I'm curious. So I know in the past when we were super busy in 2006 here in Calgary and 2007, I mean, by the time the appraiser gets to actually appraise that property, what I was finding is they couldn't keep up. So how are they doing that for your market?
So generally how it works is that like if you've waived your conditions and you've purchased the home, with the mortgage brokers that we work with, they'll have the appraiser come in like relatively soon after that's happened. I think where that became, more of a problem, like if I look back to 2017 when, the government in Ontario made quite a significant changes, with the foreign buyers tax and things like that, that really like put like, it was like a hot knife through butter, because we were in a really heated market in 2017, like a white hot real estate market, and it just was like boom. So if people had appraisals that came in like sort of after that time, maybe the value had gone down somewhat from what they had purchased. The thing is, so then we know if a property isn't appraised, like the buyer is responsible to come up with the difference in that, right? So yeah. I haven't had any of that. I mean, our market just continues to go up, like in Milton. Like, so I haven't experienced with any of the folks that I've worked with, a property not appraising, but that also comes from like working with, someone who really understands the market. Like you have to really understand like the models and like be able to find the same models, know the square footages, like all of those types of things. Because I think it's different for you. You have to have like an exact measurement, and ours is like a range of square footage that has to go on our Toronto real estate board anyways.
Yeah. We have an exact, well, they can be up by 2%. Okay. So we do have a range, but we have somebody that comes in and they measure, and they can only be out by 2%. So that would be a little bit different.
Yeah, I remember the last time we were speaking, there seemed like there was quite a few differences just between how it works here and how it works there, right? So it's really interesting. It's interesting to learn the differences.
Yeah, yeah, lots of differences between the two, even though, people say we're in the same country, right?
Yeah, but so different. I know even I've talked to somebody from Vancouver before too, and it just seems just totally different there as well, right? So from province to province.
Yeah, yeah. So now you said that what does, a million get you in for your average price? Is this a single family home or is this a townhome with a yard? Tell me.
So yeah, so if you are looking in like the newer area, so like 0 to 5, a million is going to get you like a semi or maybe an end unit townhome that would have a basement and a backyard. Inside townhomes are like could be up there too, like 950, 900, depends on square footage, right? So if you're in the newer area, like 0 to 5, because Milton is just growing. I think our population, the census population in 2016 was like 110,000, and we're projected to be like 238 by 2031. So like we are a growth area, right? So there's a lot of building happening. So 238, so I said. So that for $1 million. Now, if you had asked me in October, because I made a really great video about people leaving Toronto to Milton. And I'm like, for $1 million, you can get a detached home, because I had just sold this beautiful detached home in the older area. And that quickly went away from October 2020, right? Like as the prices started to go up so much. So yeah, we are talking townhomes. There are, of course, smaller townhomes. Like I just helped clients of mine buy first-time home buyers buy a really great 3-bedroom, a 2-washroom townhome with a backyard. And we were able to keep that like in the low 8s. So like there are still opportunities like that. But yeah, like if you're going into a detached single family, like single car garage, like you're definitely like over $1 million. If you go into like the 15 to 30 year, there's a few models like around like 1,700 square feet. You may get under $1 million, just a few, but for the most part, you have to bank on your like $1 million to over 1.1.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, because like I remember when I bought my first home in Milton. Now, granted that was in 2003. I think we were like 268 or something. Like it was, and like now those same homes, it was like a 4-bedroom, home, and now they're like they're like 1.1. So
Wow. So are you finding then that I know obviously lots of people are coming because they can't afford to be in the GTA, right? So or they can't be right in downtown Toronto, but they're coming out to Milton and they're willing to put up, a commute, right?
Yes.
So what are you finding as far as the age group of people that are purchasing in Milton? Like, is it an older population or is it younger generation?
We have I would say like a younger demographic. Like it's got to be somewhere in like that 30s to 40s range. I would say is like the larger percentage of our population. People are moving from Toronto here, like just because with COVID, like they didn't want to be in the city. They didn't want to be in some of these really tiny condos. And, you just get more bang for your buck, like coming out of the city. Right. So, like maybe that $600,000 or $700,000 purchase price, in Toronto might get you like a condo or something like that. Whereas if you come out our way, you're able to get into maybe, like a condo townhome or just something like that's more spacious. We also have super low property taxes around, like considering like some of the areas like Hamilton has a much higher property tax rate than we do. So that also factors into affordability. So I would say like, that's like, I always joke with clients. I'm like, well, when you move to Milton, you're going to have you're getting a kid or a dog, like, right. It's like one of those things. Well, it's just like that type of a community and a really like we have a really great community here in Milton too, like especially with everything that happened. Like there were just like community groups that came together. We have a farmers market every Saturday that they used to close the downtown Main Street, and like you could walk down Main Street, you know, and you would know the vendors. You're definitely going to run into somebody you know. So as like much as Milton has grown, it still really has that small town feel, which is like I think the big appeal for us, which we love, and look at the draw for people coming in. It's really nice. We have a beautiful downtown.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Calgary it's super nice, and we're close to the mountains, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll take you an hour to get to Banff, and you know, on a nice day, and it's a beautiful drive. But I'm amazed the average sales price of a home last in Calgary versus, you know, I mean, you could buy two homes in Calgary for what you buy one townhome, and that would be a single detached home. Our average sales price was 582,000, and that was in July. So I'm amazed, and that could get you, you know, a beautiful home, right?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at a condo or apartment condo, you're looking at, you know, 258,000. That's what's the average sales price. And our days on the market, it average is about 40 days on the market.
Wow.
So a lot longer than yours. And of course, we did have, you know, in January, February, March, April, and May, we saw a huge increase in sales and multiple offers. But I don't think I heard of too many people going over, you know, 100,000 over the list price. Like, that's crazy. And then 19 offers, we've got that too, but not nearly as much as you guys. So it's amazing.
Well, you know what? A lot of the like, so there, you know, different strategies with pricing, and so when you see those like $100,000 or $2,000 like over the list price, the thing with that is like a lot of people have purposely underpriced the property, so that, like, you know, somebody paid over $100,000, but if you actually looked at some of the last comparable sales, like that's where the property should have been. Like they priced it low intentionally to get people through the house, you know, and then you've sort of created this frenzy around it, which, you know, is that the right thing to do? Like, you know, I don't know, right? Like, that's debatable. Like, you get you know, you're going to get a good result, like, or the client's going to get a good result, but you do end up getting some folks that go through that just aren't able to pay for the home, right? Like that wouldn't be, it's not, you know, it's not going to sell within their price range. So that's been the hardest part, I think, about this market, is like with people underpricing like that. Cause like I'll have a client call and they'll say, oh, I'd really like to go see this. And I'm like, you know what, this is not going to sell within the price range that we're looking for. I'm going to save you some time, like, to going out or falling in love with something that I 100% know. And then I can, like, look, these are the last sales, like, you can see like that they've done this, right? So that's sort of one thing that happens around here with the pricing. I don't know if you experienced that sort of similar thing in Calgary or not.
Yeah, we definitely had some people that would price the homes, you know, way below what they should be. But for the most part, we don't have a lot of people doing that. I mean, obviously, we will get people doing that, but not, I don't think, nearly as much, because I think a lot of people won't bother going to look at the homes like you, right? They've done their homework, and so it's something that doesn't happen very often with us, but it does happen. When somebody, you know, lowballs the price, right? And yeah, they just want to get people through. The other thing about it is that it's really hard for a buyer, right? It puts that buyer thinking that they can actually put in an offer, and they've put over the list price, and they think, oh, right on, you know, I'll be able to get this one, when realistically it's not even within their budget. Like you said, if you do the market evaluation, you know that home is going to sell for, like, you know, 100,000, 50,000 over the list price.
Yeah, it's hard. I know it's really hard to explain, especially when you have, you know, like, you know, people like first come, you know, most people only buy like, you know, a couple of homes like in their life. Like, we do this every day, right? So it's like, it's hard to explain, like, well, you know, I know they're asking this, but you really, like, if you want to be like, in, you know, competitive, like, you have to be sort of up in this range, and you're saying something 100,000 more. They're like, well, why would they even ask that price, right? It's very confusing for people, and it's frustrating. And so I understand that. But yeah, like it's just, you got to navigate the market if you want to get into a place, which is, just, it makes sense. Cause even, see people from buying from January till now, like you've made money like on your home. You just have to you have to know the market that you're in. And that's why I think like working with someone like you, like you're very hyper focused on like the market that you serve. And same here. Like I don't, I won't go to Toronto to, list property or to show buyers, but like I'm happy to refer to some great agents over there that specialize in that, like whether it's somebody looking for a condo or like Toronto's huge, right? So I think it's really important in the market like this that you work with those area experts. Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, definitely. I heard an echo in my mic, so I'm trying to take that down, but
okay.
I can't solve the problem. Anyways, for me, it's just sad because there's so many people that think that they can get into the market or they can get that particular home that was just listed and it's out of their reach, and you feel so bad for them, right?
Yeah.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah,
sure. So now, when people, like your people that are coming from Toronto, what are their expectations when they're coming from, right downtown Toronto? What are their expectations when they come to Milton? Are they still expecting to buy that home with, a detached home for $1 million? Are they expecting to purchase something that's, way more? Because I think that in Toronto, for your $1 million, you're probably going to be getting an apartment condo, right?
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you go. Toronto's so huge. Like it depends on what area you go to, right? I think there's like such big price differentials from like different pockets to different pockets. So, but like with Milton, like we're pretty small. And so, even like with the last two sort of like millennial, buyers that I've worked with, I usually just work backwards with them. Like, so that's why the consultation piece is like so important, because they're like, you know what? I'm like, what are you looking for? And then I'm like, okay, so let's put in like everything that you're looking for. And then I'll just show them real time. I'm like, so if you were to like, and what's sold? So I'm like, here's everything that you were looking for. And like, this is the range of price those things are selling in. So that just goes to that like must have to like, nice to have list, right? And then we can kind of work backwards from there, because I think just understanding, like its sales prices are so, like the list price is so deceiving, right? They're like, well, I saw that house, it was listed for $599. I'm like, yes, but anything listed for $990, like any $999 in there, like is your key indicator that this is like not going to sell for this price. So, so I usually just work backwards. I'm like, let's put in everything that you want. And then like over the last like 60 to 90 days, like, let's see what homes like that have been selling for. And that's usually, you can kind of go from there. And then you're like, okay, like what maybe don't we need, or if if you really are stuck, like if you're like, yes, this is exactly what we want, then maybe we look to a different area, right? Like I've had some clients, maybe they're getting priced out of like being right in Milton. So then maybe they will look to, if you can go a little bit further to like Acton, which is just like a little bit further north from here, or Georgetown, or you know what I mean? Like into different pockets, not to Oakville though, because that's even more expensive than here. Oh, I can't hear you again.
That's what you get when you're trying to work the technology, not that tech savvy when it comes to.
Great.
I can still hear the echo, but sorry, guys, you're going to have to just live with the echo.
I don't hear anything. I don't know. Maybe I don't personally hear anything. So.
Okay. So it's just on our side. Yeah. We also see a lot of people here in Calgary moving out to our bedroom communities, our suburb. So they're moving to places like Airdrie, which is about, right now, maybe about 20 minutes away. And then we have Okotoks, which is on the south side. And that's about, say 45-minute drive, depending on your speed. But it's highway driving. So people are moving out there. So we do see that a lot of people still moving out into those communities, especially now that you can work from home, right? I think that working from home has really pushed the bedroom communities just outside of Calgary. A lot of them are super busy. I mean, I know I have a client right now looking in close to Okotoks, and so when something comes up on the market, we are there. We are looking immediately. We go look at this property. We get excited, of course, and then 3 or 4 offers coming on that property, right? The nice thing about it is there are holding offers, but they're not necessarily doing it for 3-4 days. I see a lot of that happening in the Toronto market. So is that where they will put the house on a Friday and they won't look at an offer until, let's say, Monday or Tuesday. Are you guys getting a lot of that still?
Yep, absolutely. So there's even one actually I'm going to show a little bit later this afternoon, and they're holding, and they're not even taking preemptive offers, because this has been the other thing that's been so rampant, right? Like during this is like the bully offer, like the preemptive offer, right? Yeah. So we also have to, like, if something comes up and it matches your client's criteria, like it's like a run, right? Like you're out there to see it, because we don't know if that agent, like listing agent will sell it on a bully offer, or somebody will bully on it. It's like, so you can say as much as we say to our clients, like, especially the ones coming from Toronto, because like I'm in Milton, so it's like easy for me to run out and like go show the house. So I've done more video showings, I would say, because I'm like, I'll go run out and see it right now because you can't get here, and I'll preview it. And if we're so attuned enough, like, with what they're looking for, I can say, what, it's worth the drive, like come out. Or like, while we're there, we'll say, okay, this is, this and this wouldn't work for them. Just to save them some time, because it's the same here. Like you think that there's an offer date, and then, you're having your dinner, and like you get the page that there's like the text that there's like, a bully offer registered. So now it's all you got to run around. So.
It's kind of crazy, right? And we have that, but we don't have a lot of the bully offers that it seems like I know in your neck of the woods, you guys get a lot of those bully offers, but we don't get that many, right? So It's good for us in a way. You can still get a property and you can still get a deal, but definitely the nice ones, the ones that are priced right, the ones that are, the cream puffs, as we call them, those ones do end up having you multiple offers for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why everything I think we've sold this year, like, has been in multiple offers, but this is why we like, stage the homes and like, have like professional photography and all those things, like all those things that you do too, right? Because you want like the homes to look their best, because that just generates more interest. Like no upside down photos over here, right? Like,
God, no upside down photos. No photos taking with your cell phone, posing. No photos. I love it, of the toilet.
Oh my gosh, when it's open, it's like such a pet peeve. Like it still sort of boggles my mind that like, like looking through, I was looking at Mississauga condos the other day, because I had a client that's going to buy something in Mississauga, and we have some condos here, but we don't have a lot. So I just was like, wow, like I can't believe some of the photos when you're scrolling through. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so you definitely need to hire a professional, somebody who's actually going to put your home at the best light, right? You want to make sure that your home is presented properly so you can get the most money out, right?
Absolutely, no question.
So I saw this article. I'm not going to share this article, but it's interesting. It's just talking about the Millennial Buyers and how, basically they're not able to purchase anything. So let me share that article here. Millennial Buyers less likely to own a home in Toronto than any other province or any other city in Canada. And that amazed me. It was kind of disappointing because I've got, 2 kids that are going to be in the market to purchase a home soon. But if they were looking in Toronto, basically they can't afford anything, right? This article kind of says that their down payment would be $300,000. I mean, you can still purchase a townhome or a condo here in Calgary, and actually, you can purchase a single-family home depending on the area for $300,000. It'll be an older home. It will not be a brand new home, but it will get you into a property, and you can put your own stamp on it, right? It was quite interesting. It's almost sad, I think, that the younger generations are not able to purchase something in one of Canada's, Toronto is a vibrant city, a vibrant city, and I think a lot of young people are there. They're enjoying their time, but also they want to work and play, and they're not able to purchase something. It's interesting also that this article says, they can buy a home in Edmonton for $398,000, and in Winnipeg for $324,000. In Toronto, it's $1,075,000. You can get to Montreal, I guess, for $498,000, and Vancouver. Can you imagine? 1.29. That's crazy. You can't purchase anything. If you're in Saskatoon, of course, you can get something for $364,000. And then Ottawa, which really surprised me, the prices have gone up there quite a bit.
A lot of people left Toronto and went to Ottawa too. Yeah. So I sold a home in Milton this year, and they were moving to Ottawa.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And even Victoria, that market used to be really quite reasonable. And I mean, 829,000. Look at Calgary. So all the people in Toronto, if you want to move to Calgary,
call Barb and move to Calgary.
Call me. You can still get a home for 400 and this is a couple months stats number, but 458,000. It is right now. The average sales price is 582,000. So it has gone up quite a bit. And even London, I was quite shocked at how much it has gone up as well. Yeah. My brother-in-law is from London, and I'm amazed at the price there. 623,000. Halifax has gone up. I mean, Burnaby, BC, you got Surrey, Regina. I think if you want to move and you can commute, I mean, Regina looks like a great place because that's the lowest price, 267,000. I mean, from this article, it's telling me that you need 300,000 for your down payment to buy something in Toronto. That's crazy.
That's a lot. Like it's us, like for here, like you can still buy something with 5% down, like under $1 million, right? Like or with the tiered deposit down payment. But like I found that like the millennial buyers that I've worked with, like a lot of them have had help from their parents. So like it's just like as a parents, like we've built up a lot of equity in our homes, and so that's just one way you're sort of helping your kids, right, to be able to purchase. But I mean, your price, like with your average, like if you can get a 300,000, like what is the rental market like there? Like it must be. Is it a good investment market then, Calgary?
It is a good investment market for rentals. Absolutely. You can still get, a single family home. I myself own a couple, and, you can still buy them even if you bought them for 400,000. And now we've got lots of the ability to suite. We never really had that before in Calgary, but our Mayor Nancy has really pushed for where we can put a suite in our basement. And I know in Ontario, that's always been something that's not a problem. You guys have always had that. For us, it's just starting. It's sort of the beginning of that, where you can legalize the suite. So if you buy something for even 350,000 buy level, you might have to put some love into it, but you can suite it. So there's definitely rental opportunities here. Also, when I look at it, if you want to rent something, a basement suite will rent for about $1,000. Okay. Average apartment is about 18 right now, depending on, and of course it depends on where you are. If you're right downtown, that's where it's 18. If you're on the in the suburbia, it's probably about $1,400 for your monthly rent, right? So there's still that ability for people to build up equity in their home, as well as if they want to get into the rental market. Yeah.
That's like those rental prices even are really great, because like I've helped clients before that they move to Milton, they're going to feel it out, they're going to start in a rental, and then they're going to move into something after. Maybe just buying right at the right time isn't the right time for them exactly. But I'm looking at condos right now. Some of the condos are $2,300 for a 2-bedroom condo to rent.
Wow.
To rent.
Wow.
Like that, I mean, sounds really appealing if someone were thinking to invest in, Calgary market. If you had a property manager out there, it sounds like you would be able to cash flow quite nicely on some of the properties you have. Oh, you cut out there, Barb.
Oh, not sure here.
I'm sure she's going to jump right back on.
Yeah, I'm here, but my camera, I think, is just having a little issues here. So
Okay.
I might switch my camera out.
Okay. There you are.
Yes. And I'm going to have to shift back because right now I was using my camera and all of a sudden it died. I'm not sure why. It usually never does that, but this is an experiment in the making.
Yeah. That's good. You know what? You go with the flow. That's all you can do, right?
Yes, yes. So yes, if people want to invest in Calgary, this is a great opportunity for people who have some money in, the Toronto market, Milton Market, and they would like to invest in it. I mean, it's a great opportunity. There's some great companies as well that will manage any rental for you. Our office is actually, we've just opened up a division as well at CIR, and we've got a property management division. So that's just booming. They've been so super busy, and they've had lots of people from Toronto and from Vancouver as well investing in the Calgary market, right? So that has worked out really well. Yeah. So tell me, what do you think about the millennial buyers that are in Toronto? I mean, yes, you said that they're, or in Ontario in general, they have been able to purchase something with their parents. But what about the ones that don't have that opportunity? What do you think, what can they do to get into the market? How can they set themselves up for being in the market? I mean, obviously it's going to take them some time as far as that goes, right?
Yep. I think I just like how, a lot of us started in just like that sort of, a property ladder, right? So you just get in on what you can afford and what will work for you for now. So if that's a condo and that's where you're going to start, or a condo townhome, and you spend 2 to 3 years there, or if as long as you're comfortable, the payments are comfortable for you, and you can live there, whatever the market does, you can ride it out, right? So if the time is right, and say 3 years, and you've built some good equity in that home, now you're able to, move up into that next property, whatever it may be, right? So that's what I would say is or what I've said to people is just get into something, because the rents are really crazy. And if for some folks, depending on what they get into, with their down payment and everything, you could be paying less than what some of the rents are, because they're so high, right? Even if you were to move, even in other areas, I just have a condo listed right now. It was a friend of ours, and that is an under $400,000 condo. And we were doing the math, and I'm like, yeah, somebody could really comfortably live here, and it would be less than paying rent, right? So because the rents are so high. So I think just getting into something that is never stretch yourself too thin, I would say, because you want to have a life too. That house poor term, I just think it's, nobody wants to live like that. Even for us, we don't have, a huge home, but we really live within our means. And that enables us to as we grow equity, then you can leverage some of that to buy other properties, right? And then you have rental income coming in, and it's just that property ladder of growing. So I think that's one of the things I always go over with people, if you can help it, and maybe you get into something a little bit smaller than what you really want right now, but that's not it doesn't have to be your forever home. You can use that as a stepping stool to get to your next property. Is that what sort of the idea you do too?
Yeah, definitely. Always tell people, get into the market. It's better to be in the market than be out of the market. And then when, if it booms, or if you want to keep that townhouse or condo, if it's a smaller for you and you're deciding to have a family, you can keep that as a rental property, and you can also build up equity, right? So I do that with a lot of my clients. I sort of help them through the process of, this is where you're at today, but that does not mean that that's going to be where you're going to be, 5 years from now, right? And then also set them up with a good mortgage broker so that if their dream is to buy a larger property eventually, then they know what to do moving forward, right? And I think a lot of people, I try to tell them, just also put some love into your home, right? What I find is that, if you've taken really good care of the property, even if the market's on a slower, it's a slower market, which we haven't seen in a long time. We have here in Alberta because our market is dependent on oil.
Yeah.
But I always tell them, put some love into the home, put your own stamp on it. And then when you do get to sell it, even if it's a slower market, you'll still get a good price for your home, right?
Of course, if you've taken care of your home, of course, it is always going to, those are the best ones, right? Like that will attract the most buyers, because a lot of people don't really want to do things like they don't want to have to. I don't know if you find that there too, but like most people are like, like some cosmetic things, but they don't really want to get into like heavy duty, like fixing up of things, especially if they're, like everyone's so busy with like with work and life and everything. So not a lot of people I find want to get into, big project homes. There are some people that absolutely love it. But I would say the majority of people, at least that I work with, are like, they want something that's done already. So there's definitely a good ROI on like putting some love into your home. Definitely.
Yeah. So as we get ready to finish up, I was just wondering, so where do you think the market is going? Not just here, because of course there's some stuff that's been announced by the government and, affordable housing. Where do you think the market is going in Toronto, in Milton? Do you think it'll continue on the path that it's going right now? I mean, like you said, since 2017 to now, the market has increased so much. I mean, I can't even fathom that. So like from 700,000 to like 1 million, that's a lot of money, right?
Well, it's a big change. Like, and I remember even like, people buying things and like in your, like now when you look at the prices and you're like, wow, like it's really gone up. It's gone up so much. So I think that, we'll still have, increases. Will we have like another double-digit increase year? Well, to 2021, definitely. But like going into 2022, like, will that be the way it goes? Like, maybe we can return more to like a 5 to 6%. Like, I don't know if we're going to continue on this trajectory of up, right? Because of the way the economy is, right? So we'll see. But for right now, I mean, like, I think it's largely dependent on like maybe what happens with like politically in the next month too. Like, I think if, the blind bidding and some of those things like are taken away, like, or, if depends on who comes into power, I guess, right? Like, so we'll have to see what changes come of that. But definitely, like, there's not enough inventory. Like, that's like really the main thing. Like, there's not enough homes, and there's a lot of people that want to buy a home. So something has to give at some point, right? So, and the interest rates too, I think they really factor into all of this, because with the interest rates remaining so low, like I think I saw one of the banks advertising like 0.99% on a variable. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy, right? So under 1% for variable rate. So I think that also has something to do with it too. So, I mean, the upwards pressure on interest rates has to put some downward pressure on home prices a little bit, right? But like, when is that happening? I don't know. I wish I knew. Pull out my crystal ball.
I feel your crystal ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Something has to give in the market there. And yeah, can you imagine 9.99? I know the Bank of Hong Kong was offering that a couple of years, and I was amazed at that. I couldn't. I'm like, how could they offer this, right? I think about when I bought my very first house, it was at 10.75. And I remember RBC giving us, a percentage off. We were so excited at 10.75, right? Which was it was awesome, because of course in the 80s you had 22%. So for us, we were so happy.
Yeah.
When our mortgage came after the 5 years and it went down to 5%, we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. It's really like if you really like plot that out, like it's a big difference like on interest rates. Like our first, I think was 6.5. Like that was our first interest rate as well. So yeah, it makes a big difference. It makes a difference. Like you can't have, a 10% interest rate and like people buying $1 million houses. Like your pool of buyers is going to be a lot smaller, right? So whether they will ever go up that high again, I don't know. They've been low for so long, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks like, from what I read, it looks like the Bank of Canada is going to keep it low for a little bit longer anyway. So we'll see if they do keep it. I think for sure going into 2023, but what happens at the end of 2023, nobody knows, right? Like we don't have that crystal ball.
no.
So thank you so much for joining me. Now, do you have any final words for somebody who's thinking about coming on? Somebody who's thinking about moving into your area, what are some of the great things that they might find in your neighborhood, as well as how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Well, Milton has like a lot to offer, like for anyone kind of coming to move in here. Like it's a great location, first of all. And there's just so many things to do. Like we've got tons of parks and trails, and we're close to so much nature. There's really great small businesses here. And it's really got that great community feel. So if that's something that, someone was looking for, then I would say, definitely come and check out Milton. And like to get in touch with me, you can send me an email, you can give me a text, you can follow me on social. Like I'm pretty active on Instagram. That's Sold by Shaleni, and also, of course, my YouTube channel.
Yes. There's Shaleni's YouTube channel, and yes, as she said, she is active on Instagram. My apologies, I did not get your Instagram handle.
Oh, it's okay. It's Sold by Shaleni.
There you go. Sold by Shaleni, and she will hook you up. She's very active on Instagram, and we're going to end this live, but we're going to finish it off with some dancing, and she's going to entertain me by dancing.
I can salsa. I can say that's I can salsa dance.
Salsa. Let's see if we can take this stream out with the. Just give me 2 seconds here. Let's see if we can get some music.
Okay.
But I'm going to go to your YouTube channel just so that people can see that here's her YouTube channel. And like she said, she had some videos about moving from Toronto. You can see her there. Lots of information in regards to Milton, where she lives. And we're gonna try to share some music.
Okay.
This is. There we go. Cannot get this to share. So we are going to pretend we have some music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I had this all shaken up. So thank you so much for joining me today. And next time we do this, we'll have some music. So you can go ahead and salsa dance.
Okay. Salsa dance.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care. Be good.
You too. Bye.
So I'm gonna take it out here.
I think you're still live, Barb.